Hey guys, I'm Justin Rhodes. Hey guys, I'm Justin Rhodes. Come here, I'm Justin Rhodes. I'm just so happy to be with you cows today. Oh, you don't have to be like that, come on. I've been picking up pecans while I water the cows. He said, so you know what's going on in the scene. But in order to turn on the water, I have to jump over this fence, he continued. There are a couple of gigantic pecan trees right here. And this is the time of year that they are dropping nuts like crazy. So when I come out here to top off the cows, I bring out a bag with me. There's cow manure all over the ground here, but every single one of these nuts we will coat in hand sanitizer and bleach before we do anything with them, because we're super cautious about germs. I definitely didn't place these strategically on the ground to make better content. Sometimes the cows just get in my way also, and the water isn't distracting enough. So if I really want to pick up pecans, we start a stampede. Hey guys, I'm Justin Rhodes. You should fight each other. It's better content. Our house is almost 150 years old. So my guess is that these trees probably were established then. And they say that pecan trees start to give up, you know, as they get older. They're not maximum production. And these are obviously seedling pecans. We've got multiple trees in the yard, and we've gotten 22 pounds of nuts so far that I've counted. But if you take a look at these pecans, they are just not that big. But the nuts from this tree are bigger than the ones from this tree. And you notice this is not proper spacing. I don't know what happened here. Maybe this tree's older. Maybe this is a baby of this tree. I don't know. But this one has decent size nuts comparatively. But if I pick up the ones from this tree, I'll show you, they're dropping right now, and they are way smaller. They're barely worth picking up. I mean, maybe if you were hungry, they would be worth picking up, but the size of these things is kind of silly. They're really not much to look at. So we have the two trees that are over there. We have another tree that's at the edge of the pasture over here. It's kind of our secondary piece of pasture where I don't let the cows anymore because they kind of figured out they could get into my greenhouse and eat my sugar cane. So we're gonna just jump the fence because cows can't do that. This tree, about half dead. I never get any nuts off of it. I don't know if it got hit by lightning or what happened to it, but it's a very disappointing pecan. Really nothing. Might be worth sawing up into boards or something, or smoking 1 million sausages with, but it's not really a good nut tree.
I feel like I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts.
This is pecan tree number 4. This one actually is productive. Last year it didn't make much, but this year it's dropping nuts all over my plant nursery. And they're a little bit bigger. They look like the ones on that first tree out in the field. It's kind of nice to have the black plastic down here because it's easy to spot the nuts. However, they have fallen in a lot of the pots. There's just pecans in all of my potted plants. So it's like, buy a potted plant, get a pecan free. I'll have the kids pick these up later. I got a few more trees to show you. We have 3 more up here. And for those of you that think that they need to be planted at proper orchard spacing, 80 feet apart, or they won't grow, well, they will grow. They're big. There's not a lot of nuts out here, but they are big. Get occasional nuts out here. I might have to give them some zinc. Got one little one here. It's not really that much to look at. These are all seedlings, I'm pretty sure, or else they would be bigger. Unless they just developed the really big pecans over the last 50 years or so. I haven't really researched that. I know some of the new ones, the pecans are like this big. These guys, if they were grafted, they're probably an old variety. I don't think those small nut versions are grafted ones though. I don't think they would have selected for nuts that big on purpose. Got a couple more. I know these guys are producing. Let's go look. This tree is one of the largest ones we have. But we searched it the last couple of years. I haven't found a single pecan. So I don't know. It may be retirement age. It wishes it was on top of the world, playing golf. I don't think it's the type of tree to go to the villages though. There's a couple more that are making nuts though, so let's go look. This tree isn't too bad. They're still not particularly big, but they're pretty full, so it's worth picking them up here. We've already picked up a few pounds from under this tree. They look pretty good. So this tree kind of makes a traditional pecan shape. But this tree, which is at pretty good orchard spacing here. If you were going to do a food forest, this is pretty good spacing. I don't know if any of this was intentional or if they just saw pecans here and they cut around them or what. This tree makes the funniest pecan nut you ever seen. I'll show you a few. They're just about round, and I'm sure nobody would deliberately select nuts that look like this, but they're still good. They're all really good. They have a really good full flavor with sweetness and nuttiness. They're just not really the commercial looking pecan that you would expect. Very round. Caria illinoiensis. Caria illinoiensis. Representing. I'll carry ya, illinoiensis. Carry on my back. Carry in a bag. Though a lot of people think about pecans as being a southern tree, that's not really the case. There are pecans that will grow way up north, like way into Georgia, way up into North Alabama. No, I'm kidding. They'll grow all the way up to Canada. There are varieties of pecans that are very cold hardy. And as a matter of fact, if you've ever read my book, Create Your Own Florida Food Forest, the massively revised and expanded 2nd edition with illustrations from over 50 artists, you can buy it. There is a link below. You can get it on Amazon. That book, if you have read that book, I tell the story of somebody in Hollywood, Florida, South Florida, Zone 11, who successfully grew pecan trees. It's a much wider range than you would expect. May not be a commercial range all the way through. Maybe Georgia, beautiful Georgia, is the right place to grow them for massive commercial yields, but for backyard, man, it is hard to beat pecans. They are a fantastic tree, and if you own them, you'll feel like the captain of a starship. Like
Captain Jean-Luc Pecan of the Starship Enterprise.
the two trees by the cows here are the large nuts and the small nuts, and then these two trees in the other back pasture, the round ones and these. Very cool. A lot of variation. And the one thing that they all have in common is that these pecans are nuts! I love pecan trees, even though these are seedlings, even though they're old, even though they're not super productive. Hey, I'll take 25, 30 pounds. That's great. It's more pecans than we would have had otherwise, and they're beautiful trees. Not hard to grow. They tend to alternate bear a little bit, and some of the more commercial varieties take this care and that care and maybe a little extra zinc and maybe a little of this, and sometimes they get bagworms, etc. But they really are a pretty hardy tree, and they're not that difficult to grow. One thing you do need to know about growing pecans, though, is that they need pollinators. So they'll say to plant plant a pair of pecans of a variety that are actually compatible for bloom time. This is important, but pecans come in matched sets. If it were up to me, I would plant 6 or so, just to make sure in case one dies and I don't have a pollinator and something happens to that one and we hit another one with a string trimmer, we still get pecans. Having a little bit of redundancy isn't a bad idea. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Check out my private, exclusive school group. I'll put a link to that below. We are doing a food forest challenge, among other things. It has been a lot of fun. I interact with people directly, answer questions. You get all of the cool videos, my food forest course, and all that stuff. And that is below. That is the Survival Gardener group on School. I'll see you over there. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green. And you walk like this, you ninja walk. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. You can go.
I can't get him to stay in.